Welcome to Talking Comics, where we are bagged, boarded, and pre-recorded. I'm Ryan,
I'm Sean.
and we have our guest.
Josh from episode 13.
Yes, that one.
We're gonna breeze right over it.
Uh,
What's on the docket for the day? I'm coming in completely blind.
Sean's got some Riverdale related stuff. I think I have I'm gonna talk briefly about a comic book that's coming out that also has a TV show. So the comic and the TV show are adaptations of a novel. I don't really know much about it because it's not out yet.
Fair enough.
And I haven't been able to get a hold of the book yet. And I think the show is... God, I don't even remember what channel it's on. American Gods is the name of the book. So they are doing the American Gods TV show and a comic. The book was written by Neil Gaiman. So it's pretty. It's like it was a New York bestseller at one point.
All his stuff is
Except for that one Z-roll movie that Garrett showed us.
Come on.
It's a magical day.
That was I don't like to crap on a lot of stuff, but that was tough for me.
It was.
Now you know how we felt watching your movie.
I'm just like
His movie is better than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's...
I'm on the fence.
Like,
I'm on the fence.
like Sean, for his movie, he got like
He had the
college
excuse of
acting
being
students.
a low-budget movie.
The one that Neil Gaiman, the movie that Garrett showed us, was low budget. Like, I think he just like grabbed his wallet and just handed his credit card. Not like his good credit card either. The one that's
His
near.
Discover?
And an Applebee's gift card.
But Neil Gaiman's
Some locations excluded.
his writing for comics and books and whatnot is good. From what I hear, I haven't actually read any of his stuff.
You never read any Neil Gaiman?
No, not that I know of.
Sandman?
No, I've never read any Sandman.
Neverwhere? None of that?
No. I don't really know a whole lot about American Gods as a whole. I know, from what I understand, it's like the gods, they're like actual beings that that are on Earth, and a lot of them are just trying to make it in society, like the rest of us, trying to find jobs.
They're like retired.
So it takes place in Florida?
I really don't know very much about it other than, it's about like gods living in society and trying to make a living and stuff like that. And
But to be fair, that's kind of all the information I need. I already kind of want to watch the show.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read the comic book, let's be real. It'll just sit in my car for 6 months. But
same goes
I
for the
am
novel.
very much interested in the TV show from your description.
And like, it's part like science fiction, fantasy, part drama.
Now you talked me out of it. Drama?
Everything's got to have drama.
It does.
You can't make a TV show or a movie that doesn't have drama in it.
I actually just binge watched Shameless, which is one of the
I
most
could
drama-filled.
never get into that
Which
show.
is one of the most drama-filled shows I've ever watched. I'm sitting there watching it with a friend of mine, and I turned to her and I go, "Are we watching a fucking soap opera?" It's a soap opera dumbed down for a different audience. Like,
yeah.
Soap operas are dumbed down for like housewives. I don't mean to speak negatively of anybody. They're dumbed down for an audience, and this was dumbed down for a completely different audience. But it's really the same beast.
Yeah.
Is that the Shameless?
Shameless is about a really dysfunctional family.
The dude from Jurassic Park 3? I can't think of his name. The dad?
I stopped watching after Jurassic Park 2.
Oh. Fair
That's
enough.
a Shameless is a podcast for a different time.
We don't have a TV show podcast. This is as close as it gets.
I mean,
It's
what
a good show.
Real
Let's
Dummies
just leave it
is
at
a,
that.
I don't think Real Dummies is just for movies, is it?
Reels are for movies. So
TV.
Yeah, because they don't use cameras to record TV shows.
those cameras don't have film in them.
No, see, the funny thing about Real Dummies is
It's a double entendre.
It's a double
play
entendre.
on words because real it can be spelled REEL or REAL. You're a real dummy. REEL, and you're a real dummy. REAL.
Exactly. Except I'm not on that podcast.
Never even been invited, have you?
No.
I haven't.
have.
They just use his microphone and he sits outside the door listening. Oh, that sounds good.
No. That's what he said he was going to do to me.
I tap and wrap it up. So yeah,
I'm actually shocked I haven't been on an episode of Real Dummies, but it's one of these days.
I'm really like the concept of the show and the comic and the book of American Gods. I love that mythology stuff being taken into like modern times and whatnot.
We sure went on a tangent there.
Yeah. That's what people were complaining about. Josh's anime filler, apparently.
Last season.
No, I think that's. I think we were talking about this before. AMC looks like it might pick it up.
American
no.
Movie Classics.
Or
It's on HBO.
Is
or
it HBO?
Cinemax. I can't
Oh,
remember.
Skinamax.
okay.
Or maybe it was Stars. I can't remember. It's on one of those channels that you have to pay a whole bunch of money to get.
Or illegally downloading. Our lawyers do not recommend illegally downloading things.
All right, Josh,
Yes.
you need to speak up a little bit more.
This is the first time I've ever been told that in my whole life.
Like I'm looking at the recording, and it's like there's these little bumps in the audio,
He's trying to edit me out.
and that's Josh's voice, just a little bump.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we could.
And we have Michael Cera with us.
Or Jackson.
Yeah, I really don't have much to say about American Gods until I either am able to watch the show, read a comic, or read the book. So I'll probably expand on that once I get more information on it. I didn't really have much to talk like. This podcast was kind of impromptu. We were just like, we need an episode this week. We're recording tomorrow.
Sean has a list, and you don't even know the one subject you came prepared to speak about.
It's been a slow
I
news
literally
week.
thought of this like an hour before I came here, and that was when I had stuff to do, like go and pay bills and pick people up to go record podcasts.
Who needed a ride? We're at Sean's house. Ryan just said he gave somebody a ride. Fuck, it was me, wasn't it?
One bit of news. I don't know when exactly, but we may take our hiatus at a different time this year than we did last year.
For
Because
Volume 2.
Funk Volume 2?
it gets hot in here during the summer.
Here we go.
It's not in here already.
And also, we have to wait for stuff to come out. Like, what? Like, the Spider-Man movie. Doesn't that come out in, like, July?
Came out in like 2001.
Shut the fuck up. Anyways.
There's a new Spider-Man movie?
Yes.
The Marvel Fox one? It's already like coming?
Marvel, Sony,
Oh, okay. Which one's owned by Fox then?
X-Men.
Ah, okay. I'm so out of this right now.
If anyone wants to know more about that, I had a whole rant on another podcast about Sony doing stupid things.
No. Yes.
So evidently they're only doing like 3 movies together. Homecoming, Infinity Wars, and Homecoming 2. And then they're like, all right, we're taking Spider-Man back.
There was a rumor, take it for what it's worth, that might be in Phase 4 after Infinity Wars in the next Avengers movie. Yet to be untitled, obviously, blah, blah, blah. We haven't got Infinity Wars yet. But
Yeah.
just speculation. Wishful.
And we got to remember that Marvel makes crazy amounts of money on every movie they release, so maybe Sony will see that money roll in on their side and agree to play ball. They're testing the waters, and 3 movies is not bad for testing the waters.
See, Sony already saw the profit margin for Spider-Man actually working with Marvel for that 30 minutes he was in Civil War.
Yeah, but they might have just done that
And see, if you go back and listen to the other podcast, I was saying, all right, so here's Sony's thought process. Okay, we're gonna make Spider-Man popular again by working with Marvel, and then once he's big and popular and we're getting all that merchandise money, we're gonna take him back and start making movies on our own again with him.
That may be their plan, but here's what really happens. Great box office scores because they're teamed with Marvel. Terrible box office scores because they don't know how to make a decent movie.
See, that's exactly what I said. And then they're going to all right, but we don't want to lose this asset. So they're just going to put him in a closet. And he's just going to sit there gathering dust for years.
Peter Parker in the closet?
Who knows what Sony's going to do next. They're going to put him in the closet. He's going to gather dust. And then he's going to fall back into trademark limbo. And then Marvel's going to take him back.
That is a solid theory. And I'm okay with it happening that way, too, which is... It's a solid theory, and I like the outcome.
So we're going to get a couple of really good Spider-Man appearances. Then
a couple of bad ones.
Yeah, some bad ones.
A long period without any.
And
then a bunch of good ones.
Yeah.
As he enters the Marvel hands again.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a time limit on the contract, or is it Sony has to make a movie every X years to keep it under their reign?
I believe it's a decade.
They own it for a decade? When did the decade start?
93.
93?
When Marvel filed bankruptcy.
That's when they got Spider-Man movie rights.
Okay, so if they don't make a movie for a decade, they lose the rights? Is that what you're saying?
That's
okay.
Standard practice.
There's no way they're not going to make a movie for 10 years, though.
Oh,
because they know that.
They'll definitely make a movie. But what they do...
You hear where I'm coming from, right? They know that they have an expiration date. If they don't keep making movies, they're going to keep making movies. It's what Disney does with Mickey Mouse and all of their creations.
But do you see what Ryan's saying? I like what Ryan's saying, because then they don't want to run the risk of seeing mechanical transformer-looking Rhino at the end of an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie. They don't want to do that. They're not going to leave that money on the table. They'll be like, oh, great. Yes, we like being with Marvel and Disney.
So...
But I like the deviousness of this plan.
Yeah, this plan's solid. I like it, but
because
those damned Mickey Mouse laws make everybody know how trademark works.
Well,
that's Marvel shooting themselves in the foot by teaming up with Disney.
The thing is, they're gonna make a couple of bad movies over the span of 10 years, and eventually, they're gonna forget about it.
Modern companies don't forget about things, but I get where you're coming from.
They will. I have a feeling, or they're gonna sell the rights directly back to Marvel.
Happening. They make a couple shitty movies. They're not profitable.
Basically, what I'm saying is
they would make more money selling.
As much as I love
Marvel.
Sony and their PlayStation,
the one
they're gonna have to lose they're gonna lose a lot of money
before
they make a whole bunch of money selling Spider-Man.
They got tons of stuff too to fall back on now.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to Sean.
I'm sitting there staring at the Spider-Man.
Oh.
All right.
Also, one little thing. If the audio as a whole isn't very good, I noticed on our last podcast, it was a little loud and screechy, because we were peeking out on the recording. That's because my new computer setup, I don't quite have it the microphone and the computer tuned into where we had it before. So it might take a couple of podcasts before we get that just right. My little PSA is done.
Now you know.
And they
The
say,
more you
I
know.
interrupt you guys. He interrupted you straight up after passing it. Here you go, Ryan. Here you go, Sean. Just one more thing, though.
I am the host. I can do what I want.
It's his party. He can cry if he wants.
Exactly.
All right. I got an awesome book that I kind of mentioned to you the other day that I'm
Yes.
excited for to come out this summer.
What is it?
It is the redoing Creepshow 1982.
I thought you were going to say the new 50 Shades Grey book.
50 Shades Grayer.
50 Shades the Greyest.
Are you familiar with it at all? I know
No.
it's, you made the joke the other day when I was
Creep,
so
Creep-
excited.
Creepshow is a little before my time.
1982.
I know of Creepshow.
That's like 11 years before I was even born.
Okay, fair enough. It is Stephen King
Mm-hmm.
and George Romero, and then they both did the movie.
Yeah.
But the artwork and everything, Bernie Wrightson.
Who's that?
He is one of my favorite.
Weekend at Bernie's.
No, Bernie Wrightson is one of my favorite artists who just recently passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He is. It's pretty much an innovative graphic novel.
Yeah.
Because this is the graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the fact it's the first book that was not since Bill Gaines and like Vault of Horror and Tales from the Crypt and everything.
Yeah.
This is the one that pushed a lot of envelopes as far as like gore
Mm-hmm.
and the comics code
Yeah.
and everything. And
Let's see what we can get away with.
to the point where they used it. It's a real comic.
Mhm.
You could go out in 1982 and buy this book.
Yeah.
But it was also featured. It was basically a movie prop / advertising piece for the movie because it was in the movie.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever seen Creepshow,
I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
and they also used it to move along the story plot.
Yeah.
The opening credits of this movie, again, Bernie Wrightson,
Mhm.
his artist, his illustrations and everything,
Yeah.
to the point where it got him in the movie credited as writer.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
impressive because
It
they don't
is.
just give the writer title to anyone.
Especially if
when it
it's
comes to
Stephen King.
movies. Yeah. Stephen King gets people to write his books, and his name still gets put on it.
Stephen
So-
King, like when they put his name at the end of the credits, you have to pause the movie, take a magnifying glass to his name, and you see it like the other writer's name
We talked about this.
etched into his name.
So, fun fact about Stephen King: he originally wrote under a pen name, Richard Bachman, and the sales on Richard Bachman books were abysmal, to say the best you can. Like, they were okay sales as far as a published writer goes, but they were nothing like you imagine Stephen King's
Yeah.
reception gets. And so somebody exposed that Stephen King was Richard Bachman, and so Stephen King republished Richard Bachman books under his own name, and the sales times by thousands when he re-released them with Stephen King on
That's
the cover.
crazy.
And he's quoted as saying, "It's the same fucking book. I don't know why it's so much different on the
Yeah.
sale level."
Just the branding.
Fun fact: Josh's grandpa loves Stephen King
Yeah.
to the point
Absolutely loves him.
where there's a like 1.5 foot tall pile of Stephen King books in their bathroom.
In the
And his
windowsill.
grandpa really thinks Stephen King's the shit.
Can you add the sound over me doing that?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
He can actually. That's awesome. That's why I was like giving it a moment.
Oh, I thought you had to figure out why that was
No,
funny.
no. I'm on to you now. No, but I just thought, I cannot wait. And I'm getting you a copy. You've got to read it. Or I'm getting myself one. You can borrow mine.
All right, that works.
Because I had it at
If
82.
you borrow books like I borrow books, you can
No,
have
he
it
actually
forever.
reads it. But no, it was just awesome, especially with the whole Bernie Wrightson thing, because he's just one of my favorites. I just thought it's going to be awesome. They're re-releasing this since 82 and redoing it. Who knows? It's going to be like a big tribute to him, and I'm just really stoked about it. Plus, Creepshow is just awesome. They did 2 other movies. Second one was really good. Third one, none to do with anything, but I still liked it.
Yeah.
But the book itself,
Like Halloween 3.
awesome.
Season of the
I loved
Witch.
Halloween 3.
Right, but it's not really a Halloween movie. It
If
had
they
nothing
just
to do
if they
with the
just
others.
called it Season of the Witch, yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
great. But
Well, I think that's what happened is they realized that if they released it as Season of the Witch, they would get reception. So they titled it Halloween Season of the Witch, put a few tie-ins in there and called it good. I don't think it was ever intended to be a full-fledged Halloween movie.
it's a what's his name? I can't. I'm drawing a blank right now. The Cthulhu. Dunwich
H.P.
Horror.
Lovecraft?
Thank you, Lovecraft. Season of the Witch was a Lovecraft story.
Huh.
Is it?
Yeah,
Nice.
I know nothing about H.P. Lovecraft,
pretty cool.
but I knew
I'll
what
let
you
you.
were talking about.
I'll put a book in your back seat you can borrow.
I'll give it back in like 6 months or a couple of years.
Fair enough.
We'll see what happens.
And I got one more snippet of news. If anybody's saw a trailer just dropped, I can't go without a trailer.
No, you can't.
Cloak and Dagger
Cloak and Dagger.
trailer dropped yesterday for the TV series, and I've been waiting for this.
So is it going to be like ABC or Netflix?
Actually, I was hoping you can answer that question. It's ABC Television distributing it, but it's going on something called Freeform.
I am not familiar with
It's
that.
on like Hulu, one of those. I'm assuming. Oh damn it! I was hoping one.
Neither
there,
of us
but-
know about
That's
that.
really
Freeform.
unfortunate because I
Refuse
Like-
to buy another streaming service.
It's one of the it's one of those streaming services.
that's the thing. If I haven't heard of it, this show's probably not going to be that successful because I'm on Hulu, Netflix. I had Amazon
Uh-huh.
Prime for a while there.
Right.
I'm on YouTube. I'm streaming constantly.
You have a YouTube?
Yes, I do have a YouTube.
Well, they're only slated right now for 10 episodes, like half hour, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And now, throw these names out here: Aubrey Joseph.
No idea who that is.
Never heard of her either. She's playing Tandy Bowen. That's Dagger. And Tyrone Johnson is playing Cloak. Yeah, they're going young, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
They do that, and it's like basically two teens from
Alright,
different
alright.
backgrounds get superpowers. If you know the story of
Yeah.
Cloak and Dagger, and then they're forming their romantic relationship, and they realize that with their powers, they work better together, and then the whole everything going on with them and what they got to do.
Yeah.
But the dude, Joe Pokaski,
I've never heard
I
of
don't
it.
know if I'm saying his name right. He was the showrunner for Heroes,
Oh, okay.
the first season,
Oh,
the one everybody likes.
but they
And-
fired him.
He also did the first season with Stephen DeKnight for Daredevil.
Nice.
Yeah, and directed a couple episodes. He's in charge of this. And I mean, all I can say about Cloak and Dagger, pretty cool. I mean, you know how Marvel does. Like every once in a while, you get those characters that aren't so super.
Yeah.
It's pretty much okay. Cloak. He, as a kid, he's a black kid.
Yeah.
In Boston, and him and his friend, he's straight A student.
Mm-hmm.
He takes care of his family. Works 2 jobs after school.
Yeah.
He's got a speech impediment, stutters. Him and his friend go to a convenience store, buying comics, getting Slurpee or whatever. See 2 guys in there robbing it, and they ended up killing the clerk. They're running out. They run because they're kind of afraid of cops because of the color of their skin.
Yeah.
Cops see them, don't see the actual perpetrators. He tries to stop the cop from taking his friend, but with his impediment, ends up making it worse, and his friend gets shot and killed by the police.
Whoa.
Yeah. So he is out of there. I mean, he's on the run because
Yeah.
they were going after him. Comes to New York. Just moves to New York.
You said comes to New York? Like
See-
we're live from New York.
Sees,
It's Saturday night.
he's bumming around. He's like, okay, I'm here now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Teenager. I'm just gonna run away. Now that I'm here, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Sees this teenage, a little bit younger than him, white blonde-haired girl, thinking about robbing her.
Yeah.
Ends up being Dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they kind of form a friendship. He ends up he's not a bad guy. The thought crossed his mind.
I could rob this
they
little white girl.
find this wayward house,
Mm-hmm.
And they meet this guy, and he ends up being like a doctor.
Yeah.
And he's helping out. He takes in for wayward teens and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, he's doing experiments on them. Mr. Sinister, style.
Yeah.
And injects them, and they get powers.
That's some Nazi youth shit.
Pretty much, yeah. And they kind of go out with their new powers, and Cloak is he's a teleporter, and his power, he's like a vampire. He feeds on the life essence.
He's a psych vampire.
Yeah, and he just drains your very existence. And you can teleport. Whereas Dagger, she has like this overabundance of energy, and she can create like stuff out of light, like daggers.
Hence the name.
Hence the name, yeah, pretty much.
Does she throw lightning bolts like a Greek god?
She throws like these
Light daggers?
daggers, yeah.
Basically
So
beams of
Like,
light.
and she has to constantly do that, or if she just sits idle, she will explode.
Okay,
So-
so they're a really good pair because he can feed off her.
Exactly. That's what she
Symbiotic.
lets him feed off her, and vice versa. Because he needs to feed, and he can.
She needs to get rid of
She
that
needs
extra.
to.
She needs to have a release.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Wasn't me. So that's pretty much their power. So it's kind of like Luke Cage, where is it really a superpower or more of a curse?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a pretty good storytelling. If he did what he did with the first series or first season of Heroes, thank you, and then him and The Knight, which they're not working together, but with Daredevil,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And I'm glad, because they're a little older. Like in the comics, Cloak is a bit older than Dagger,
Yeah.
but they're going really, really young.
Mhm.
And we're going to see, it looks like from the trailer, you're going to see origins and the first time they meet and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the trailer, as a matter of fact, I wanted to show you, there's a still that, from the trailer.
Roxxon Corp?
Recognize that?
No.
Roxxon, the oil company. What they did right there with that one scene is tie everything from Netflix to the movies.
Huh.
Iron Man 2.
It's not ringing a bell.
The race car. It was the company. It's it's actually owned by the Hand.
Ah.
You've seen Roxxon in Iron Man 2 when he's doing the race car thing.
Yeah.
When Whiplash shows up, when it's sponsored by, and then they're in cahoots with, or not in cahoots, they're in conjunction with Hammer Industries. It's done it with Peggy Carter. It's done Cap. They did a Roxxon thing.
So subtle.
Stark.
That's so subtle.
Foggy and Matt Murdock represented. There was a client where they talked about where Roxxon, the company, was trying to lay ground, and they were pushing her out of her apartment.
Oh.
And it's just like, they've even had dealings with AIM.
There's another.
It's a fictional Marvel company that kind of spawned one of your favorites, MODOK. Look at his face. The only two companies that have never been in bed with Roxxon are Stark and Rand Enterprises.
I wonder why.
Yeah. But even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does a lot of things. They actually have the thing, Roxxon was sponsored, there's a building where they had the Deathlock.
Oh.
They made him.
So basically, Roxxon's kind of like an oil company or something.
Huge, well, it's a little more than that because, like I said, behind the scenes, the actual owners are the Hand.
But
and it's
the front business is like, we're just an oil company.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I read Roxxon. I was like, it sounds
They probably
familiar.
have a pretty badass headquarter layer.
They're everywhere. And they've tied into all the books, even to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where there's that one episode where Lady Sif come down chasing after that Asgardian,
Mm-hmm.
and she stopped and put the bikers, the dogs from hell that were in Daredevil, under their spell. They were at a gas station. They were using Roxxon gas. It's like everything. That one little scene in Cloak and Dagger trailer just tied in everything.
At least put them in the same universe.
That's what Marvel does.
Right.
Eventually.
I wish they could just
Eventually,
put them all on the
worlds
same
collide.
network.
I know, right?
I actually kind of like that it pieces it together across multiple networks. Everybody has access to something. Some people have access to it all. And if you really, really, really want to see it all, you can illegally download it.
Stop. No. It seems funny, but I don't want to get us shut down. Illegally downloading is bad. It says so in the name. It is illegal.
That's pretty much all I got.
I got one more thing that I can talk about. I don't know if I've talked about it yet. I know I've mentioned the novel series that I've been reading for years and years, the Dresden Files.
Oh, yeah.
And how they have comic books. I recently found out that the comic books tell the story, at least a good majority of them, tell the stories in between each novel.
Oh, there's a story you don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they have a couple ones that are literally just comic book adaptations of the books, but then like a bunch of them are like, what happens between book two and book 3.
Yeah.
And I also found out that they're starting a new one. They stopped writing them for a while because the author was, writing more of the books. I mean, he's got, besides the Dresden Files, he's writing 2 other book series right now.
Oh, okay.
And working on a Dresden Files card game.
Really?
Yes. And so yeah, I read online the other day that they're doing a new run of the comic that's like takes place between like book, I think it's like 10 and 11 maybe. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Now, you've read all the books, right?
Yes.
Big fan. How many of the fillers, the ones you're talking about, the in-betweeners?
I'm not sure. I only have the first omnibus, which is like a story before the first novel, the first novel, and the second novel, and I think one more after that takes place between the second and the third. I'm not positive on that though.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember we were talking about that before. I haven't read any of them.
I should really bring them over and lend them to you.
That was a hint. Good. Thank you, sir.
After I'm finished with the comic, I'll lend you that.
I'll trade you Dresden File for Creepshow. And maybe some Neil Gaiman.
Because that will cover, before book 1, book 2, and so on. And then after that, I can start lending you the books. I have all of his books that are currently out. He's working on like book 15 or something like that right now.
Oh, geez,
it's been in the works for like 5 years.
You're working with a clean slate here, sir. So,
like I literally checked the website the other day, and the last post they said about him working on the book was like 2012.
Oh wow, it has been a while, huh?
Yeah. So I think that's about all we got. You got anything you'd like to talk about, Josh?
So much.
So much.
Yeah. In a couple of months, I'll be seeing Jay and Silent Bob Get Old here in Portland. A night with Kevin Smith. And what else? I had something. You were talking about something, and it slipped. I guess I had so much more to talk about, I forgot. That's it.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Hang on, let me look at your list again.
I have the Force.
Okay.
It has a strong effect on the weak-minded.
I had a joke about Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman's not on here.
I don't know where I lost the other pieces here. But you didn't talk about the Betty and Veronica.
I did not.
I want to hear about that.
You want to hear?
So, from what I said before we started recording, you actually decided to just cut out that whole section?
I did.
We
could talk about it.
Our big boy's growing up.
He's growing up.
He's making adult decisions.
He does big boy things.
Finally out of the Pampers.
Let's not get carried
But he's
away.
getting to that
Still
age.
wearing them.
He's getting to that age where he's going back into the Pampers.
They're called Depends at that age.
Oh yeah.
It depends.
He went straight from Pampers to Depends, and that's okay.
Every once in a while I'll go huggy.
That's where he grabs someone by the wrist.
And we'll let it go.
He grabs him by the wrist and then shits himself.
Preferably a waitress.
I guess that's all we got to talk about for today. It's kind of a short one here. More like a poll list almost. Hopefully, we'll get some more. I think next time we do a Talking Comics, I'm going to talk about the Iron Fist comic I just got.
Sweet.
Uh,
Yeah, it's been kind of a slow time.
Yeah.
There's nothing really happening.
the spring is not a great time for comics. Like the only reason we did so well last year was because I was buying comics weekly, and there were a lot of old stuff.
Well, why'd you stop doing that?
It's a good question.
Prices went up, right?
Not for him.
No.
Not for me. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in as always. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
And go listen to episode 13. It would mean a lot to me.
Cheap plug. Dolphin that out.
Don't forget to like our Facebook page, all that bull crap. I don't even know what I'm saying.
And ring the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell icon. It's really cool. You know what happens? You get notifications every time I upload a video.
Do it, kids. I just found it out myself.
After
I've been
a
ringing
year.
the bell for years.
So, thank you guys for listening. And as always,
Have a day.